Hey, what is up, my guys? So today we're going to be going Origins and Supply Shock. So last time we talked about the EV of sets and which ones are actually performing really well and which ones might want to rip, which ones you might want to look at. So it's been a couple days. It's been literally 2 days. And when we talked about it last, we had Origins sitting about $250 to $260 a box. And if you look today, we're sitting at 320, with most of that gain coming from just today alone on 725. This morning we were sitting just at 265 and we were having sales at 256 to 240 basically yesterday alone. So what happened? And this is where we go into supply shock. In basic economics, there's two forms of supply shock: a positive and a negative. Positive is when there's a lot of influx that comes onto an open market of whatever the asset or supply or whatever. And with that, the price gets lowered with the increased supply, and demand also increases. And when it comes to TCGs, a positive supply shock happens actually quite often. It's called a reprint. This wave of product hits the market, and the only way that the market can absorb it is if the price goes down significantly and then demand increases with it. I mean, we saw that here 6 months ago. And we'll do the year chart. Look at every time a reprint wave happened, boom. Um, in October when it during the release, and then we had the reprint around Unleashed. And look at when it dipped, we had these bumps in demand and buying. When you have reprints, you get corrections, but buying also increases. We see that, once again, I know this is an investing channel, mainly targeted towards Riftbound. I assume you also have knowledge of other TCGs. We had Pokemon, we had Chaos Rising and Perfect Order. Both had their wave 2 come in. Supply shock, boom, they got beat up. Both of those are just destroyed right now. But in that case, the supply is much greater than the demand is. So taking it back to Origins, we had this drop. It was significant. I mean, you could be buying booster boxes 172, cases in the $1,000 range, 1.2 range, and now they're gone sky high. And we saw this. We were having days this month of 72 sales, 30 sales, 28 sales today alone. We had another day of 57. Current supply listed on TCG Player 85. What did we think was going to happen? This level of supply can't match this level of demand. This is where we get a negative supply shock, when all of a sudden the supply just disappears, and then the only thing where the price can go is up. So in a traditional sense, you can think of that as, when gas prices skyrocket because the world just lost a part of their oil supply. That's a negative supply shock, and we're experiencing that right now. Now, this generally won't happen during a TCG. That you won't see negative supply shock because it normally takes almost like some level of manipulation to do that. This doesn't seem like any level of manipulation. The demand just hasn't changed. I mean, you can see that. I mean, it's only increasing a little bit, but it's not like this onslaught of it. But now we're just at the point of there's just no supply. So the only thing you can do is it just has to go up, and it has to go up significantly. I mean, we're seeing listings 320, 320. I mean, and then it goes chunked up again, 340, 340. I mean, these are the prices. It's just there's not much product. There really isn't. And there's a lot of buying side demand. And then you go over, okay, cool. What about a case? Let's check a case. $2,465 is the going case price. And once again, I checked yesterday. Oh, 724, sub 2K, sub 2K, sub 1900. Even going back a little more, let's go back a couple, over a week ago. 1800. We had this $2,000 case. It's pretty cool, but people buying 1800. Yeah, literally a week ago. So same thing. We had this influx. Now, normally we don't see cases of sets selling 16 units in a single day. Back here, selling another 14. Cases are moving. And if we broke this $2,465 down, and once again, I have the math on the side so I can read this to you. That's about $410 a box versus 320. So there is an extreme level of case premium, to the point where it's almost a 33% case premium. I don't truly believe that should be. I believe there's such thing as a case premium. It's evident in a lot of ways. I don't think it should be that significant. But once again, I'm not the market. I'm just one person. the numbers from the numbers, and I think a lot of people need to understand when those exist. So maybe that's something I really need to start tracking, is when it comes to booster boxes versus cases. If I'm buying a case at MSRP, at some point there's going to be a pretty big delta between what the box price inside and me just selling it as a case. That being said, there's also the booster pack. It's $15. Now, if you don't know, there's 24 packs in a box of Rifbound. 24 times 15 will give you about 360 per box. So even then, if you were buying loose packs now, there's not many sales, if any. I mean, we have some days. Most people are not buying loose packs. I don't recommend anyone buying that unless you're in a rip and ship situation. But even then, this is $360 for 24 packs. Why would I not just buy a base set box or something and then take the packs from that? So then, okay, let's go back. Last time we covered EV. So people were wondering about the website. This is theexpectedvalue.com. This is where I got the Pokemon. This is where I got the Riftbound. One Piece had a different link. It was in the previous, my presentation on that one. We're still sitting around 243 per box. Now, what is that ratio? Previously, it was 0.98, which is 98% ratio of expected value. Now we're sitting at 0.75. This feels a lot more natural. That being said, with all these boxes going, are people going to be ripping? Are people going to be putting more cards on the market? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe these cards start going up. That can be a concern. And then all of a sudden, your EV continues to go up again. So I think that's something we need to track. Does EV go up over time when the box price goes up over time? Because traditionally, you're going to get to the point where this set is out of rotation. And a lot of these top EV contributors, the ones that are actually the hyper playable cards, they're gone. They're not in the meta anymore. And then the box EV tanks. So I think it's going to be very impressive. That we need to watch is how does the boxes change when it comes the EV after it goes out of rotation. And just one last thing, this whole presentation was mainly about Origins, but if you want to know where I'm kind of looking right now, I'm not trying to say Origins isn't a good buy. It's still 0.75 EV. It even can go up. I think that with the supply, and I'm going to be using my words very carefully, I do not think Origins is reprint immune. I think it can easily see a reprint. And at that point, those are massive buying opportunities, because do you think your local LGS is going to be selling on the open market at MSRP, or do you not think that they will be selling this at the elevated market price? I believe that this game is also meant for the players. I pray that the LGS respect the players enough and sell it to them at MSRP. I want the playable cards in the hands of players. I think they deserve that. They're the ones who go out every week to Nexus nights. I hope LGS focus on the players. Please do. I will take the scraps. I have no issue with that. The price would still come down, and not every card shop's as nice as that. So let's be realistic. Now, it said, I don't think it's reprint immune. I think it's reprint protected, though. I think when it comes to if a reprint comes, I do not think the market will see a massive fluctuation. It would take an astronomical wave of reprint to get the price to go lower. That being said, if you're buying at 320 today, by the time the reprint comes, maybe it is 480. Maybe it's in 5, 6, 700s by the time that reprint comes. A pullback from 700, 6, 700 down to maybe 400. Me buying today at 320, I'm still up. And that would be 600 to 400. That's a 33% drop. That's a huge margin when it comes to TCG. So by the time we even get a reprint, what's the price then? So if someone asks me, is it still a good buy today? Honestly, I'm going to tell you yes. And that's crazy to think that this game, a 320 booster box, I think this is just such a gold standard of what a base set booster box should do. Riot nailed it. It's Origins. But once again, what am I looking at right now? I'm saying this is enticing. I know we have the reprint around the corner. I'm hearing shops are supposed to get it sometime around Vendetta, or maybe early to mid-August. We're going to keep an eye on it. Once again, what's the current supply? Much healthier than Origins. We saw this dip around Unleash once again, but it's moving up. I didn't even know it was 184 until I went to go pull this up for you guys, because the other day it was 165. It was low 170s, 165. Yeah, low 170s, low 170s, low 170s. Many days, like I saw a 26 booster box sale, 175. It has been hovering there, 157s. It has not been at this number for the last couple days. So buying pressure's there, buying pressure's on everything. Like I said, not to go much into Spirit Forge right now. This is mainly targeted towards Origins. So once again, I just want to kind of go over, what's supply shock? What are we looking at? Why are these prices so crazy? And honestly, I don't want to give any like actual price predictions or where we're going, because the only way it's going is up at this point. I don't see this coming back down. I wouldn't be shocked if people come in and start listing product at 280 to 300, because it's still higher than what it was literally a day ago. So don't be shocked if we have an influx that comes onto the market. Don't be shocked if it's lower than 320, but those might be your last buying opportunities for a good bit, and then we take another leg up, because it was sitting at 260 for a solid week and now it's not. So take what you want with all this information, guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace.